The concrete still stands in front of me, but the crowd behind me already feels history moving. The wide view shows concrete, watch platforms, streetlights, peaceful crowds, and a divided city pressing toward one line. The year is 1989. For decades, this barrier has stood, a symbol of division in a cold This moment matters because a border can begin to collapse before the concrete actually breaks. I have arrived in a city that has lived for decades as two separate worlds. From above, the city is split by concrete, roads, crossings, patrol routes, and quiet neighborhoods on both sides. The detail many miss is emotional geography. The divider separates streets, families, work, memory, and ordinary life. A divided city teaches people how to live with distance, even when home is visible across the road. Up close, the divider is not an idea. It is cold concrete, light, empty space, and controlled movement. The concrete line cuts through the urban landscape with barriers, watch platforms, blank surfaces, and sealed corridors. Hidden detail is scale. From street level, the divider feels less like a concept and more like architecture of separation. This physical barrier turns every crossing, every letter, and every visit into something controlled. Earlier today, the city seemed tense but ordinary, as if history was waiting in the background. The mood is one of anticipation here in the heart of this divided European city. As the small detail is routine. People buy food, walk home, and wait without knowing the night will change them. History often arrives inside normal hours, before anyone has time to dress for it. Then a message spreads across the city, unclear at first, but powerful enough to pull people outside. The mood is one of anticipation, a city frozen in a cold November night, gathered around radios and television. The hidden detail is uncertainty. No one fully understands the rules, but everyone understands possibility. A vague announcement becomes a force because people hear what they have waited years to hear. The first crowds do not arrive like an army. They arrive like neighbors asking if the door is real. Small groups walk through cold streets toward crossings, carrying coats, bags, candles, and questions. The important detail is pace. The night begins with hesitation, not certainty. We watch as they approach the wall. Once a few people start moving, the city itself begins to follow. At the crossing, the air tightens as people ask to pass and staff wait for instructions. Crowds gather near barriers while distant staff, booths, lamps, and sealed lanes hold the tension in place. The hidden detail is human confusion. The people at the barrier and the people behind it are all waiting for clarity. The concrete line begins weakening because uncertainty is spreading faster than orders. I see faces lit by streetlights, tired, nervous, hopeful, and afraid to believe too quickly. In this historical moment, the faces of these European citizens reflect both the cold November night and the warmth of the small detail is eye contact. Strangers look at one another to confirm that this is really happening. A historic crowd becomes powerful when each person realizes they are no longer alone. Then the barrier opens, and for one breath, the crowd does not move because the impossible has become real. In a moment that would change history, the crossing lane opened. People moved forward slowly, embracing. The hidden detail is silence before noise. The first seconds of freedom are too large for celebration. This is the turning point. The concrete still stands, but its authority has been broken. The city breathes again. People step through the opening as if crossing a street and an entire century at the same time. Crowds move through an opened lane into bright city lights, greeted by strangers on the other side. The important detail is touch. Hands reach, shoulders shake, families embrace, and distance becomes human again. Every crossing changes the divider from a border into a memory forming in real time. The impact resonates beyond this night. The night erupts with cheering, but beneath the joy, I can feel decades of pressure leaving the city. As night falls and the temperature drops, the energy is palpable. Residents gather, driven by a shared longing. The mood is one of disbelief. As the celebrating crowds gather, breaking through the concrete, many still find themselves. Freedom arrives suddenly, but trust takes longer to catch up. I am standing near the top of the concrete line, and below me, the divided city is becoming one crowd. A wide view shows people sitting and standing on the concrete barrier, with streets glowing on both sides. The small detail is perspective. From this height, the barrier finally looks smaller than the people around it. The image matters because the symbol of division has become a platform for reunion. Soon, hammers and chisels appear, and the concrete begins to lose pieces one strike at a time. Under the cold November lights, small tools chip away at the concrete divider. Dust falls. The hidden detail is intimacy. People are not changing a structure from far away. They are touching history directly. Each small piece removed turns a private souvenir into a public transformation. Concrete dust floats through the air like gray snow, landing on coats, hair, hands, and cameras. The year is 1989, and a cold November night engulfs this divided European city. At the base, the detail is material. History here has weight, texture, dust, and sharp edges. The wall is not gone yet, but people can now hold pieces of it in their hands. I watch families find each other in the crowd, and the night stops being abstract for a moment. People embrace across the opened crossing, with tears, laughter, flowers, candles, and winter coats around them. The hidden detail is recognition. Amidst the candlelight and concrete dust, some faces search the crowd before they. This is why the fall matters. A border measured in concrete is felt in human years. The people who watch the lanes do not become the center of the night. They become witnesses to something larger. The staff step back, their uniforms stark against the cold night. A sea of people moves with quiet purpose. The important detail is restraint. The night changes because harsh action does not take control of the moment. History turns when institutions pause, and people move through the space that pause creates. Cameras arrive, but even the lenses seem too small for what the city is becoming. The cameras arrive to document history in the making. The scene unfolds along the concrete divide, with a cold November breeze in the air. The hidden detail is transmission. The local event is becoming global, almost as it happens. By morning, the world will not only hear about this night, it will have watched it unfold. On the brighter side, strangers welcome strangers, as if the city has been waiting with open arms. Crowded streets glow with shop windows, cars, buses, music, handshakes, flowers, and stunned arrivals. The detail is contrast. Ordinary lights look extraordinary when seen after years of separation. A simple street becomes a destination because reaching it was once nearly impossible. Back on the quieter side, people keep arriving, unsure whether the opening will last. More residents pour through apartment courtyards, side streets, transit stops, and dim sidewalks toward the concrete line. The hidden detail is urgency. No one wants to wake tomorrow and learn the chance disappeared. The night grows because hope is contagious, and fear of missing it is even stronger. The concrete was built to stop movement, but tonight it has become a stage for movement. Crowds sit, dance, wave, and help one another on top of the barrier while lights flash from below. The detail is reversal. The same height designed to intimidate now lifts people above their fear. The meaning of the concrete changes faster than the concrete itself can be removed. What I am witnessing does not belong to one person. It belongs to thousands of ordinary decisions. Crowds move through streets and crossings from many directions, each person choosing to test the opening. The hidden detail is decentralization. History is moving through feet, phone calls, rumors, and courage. That is why the night feels impossible to stop once it begins. Every cheer tonight carries the shadow of the years when crossing this city was dangerous and uncertain. Quiet symbolic views show old barriers, empty watch paths, cold lights, and people looking across the line. The hidden detail is memory. Joy becomes deeper when it rises from years of separation. Here tonight, the fall of a barrier is also the return of all the time it took away. By midnight, the crowd is no longer gathering around the concrete. It is taking possession of the moment. The midnight crowd fills the streets surrounding the divided city, a testament to hope against a backdrop of concrete and a cold November night. The detail is density. Individual stories blur into a human landscape without losing their emotion. The event becomes undeniable because too many people are now living it together. People carry away pieces of concrete like proof that the impossible became physical. Hands hold small concrete fragments under streetlights, dust and colored paint marks showing their origin in this divided city. The hidden detail is evidence. People want something tangible because memory alone feels too fragile. A piece of concrete becomes a passport from one historical era to another. At dawn, the city looks exhausted, but the concrete no longer feels untouchable. Morning light reveals chipped concrete, crowded sidewalks, abandoned tools, tired faces, and open crossing paths. The important detail is daylight. What happened at night must now survive the morning. And as the sun rises, this dawn matters because celebration must become reality, policy, and permanent change. Now the question is no longer whether people can cross, but what happens to a country built around division? Crowds move between both sides while families, camera crews, workers, and city staff try to understand the new normal. The hidden detail is uncertainty. Freedom can begin in one night, but reunion requires more than emotion. The concrete falls quickly in spirit, but the work of joining lives takes longer. Beyond this city, the shock travels across the world faster than any train leaving the station. Tonight, the weight of a divided history begins to shift. Newsrooms and homes across the world watch, captivated. The detail is scale. One local crossing becomes a signal that an entire order is changing. The fall of this divider becomes a turning point, far beyond the streets where it happened. I can feel an entire era loosening, not with one explosion, but with people walking through a gate. The concrete, crossings, crowds, camera lights, and dawn streets form a symbolic panorama of an era ending. The hidden detail is softness. Some of history's loudest changes begin with footsteps rather than thunder. This moment shows that power can fade when belief in separation no longer holds. Years from now, people will remember this night as proof that concrete cannot contain history forever. Fragments of concrete, empty border paths, reunited streets, and morning crowds become visual symbols of memory. The important detail is transformation. The city does not erase its scar, it learns to walk across it. The fall becomes a lesson in pressure, patience, courage, accident, and timing. I came here to witness a wall fall, but I am leaving after seeing a city learn to breathe again. The mood is heavy, yet hopeful. The people gather, their faces reflecting the years of separation. Now, the final detail is the sound of footsteps crossing where silence used to live. The machine will take me away, but this night will keep moving through history.